Okay, so yesterday we started notes on solving equations and what steps we need to take whenever we're solving equations. This video is just on those notes, just in case you need a refresher or you weren't here yesterday. Step number 1 is to distribute. And that only happens if you have parentheses. For example, if you have 2 parentheses x minus 3, you would distribute that 2 to the x and to the negative 3. So that would be 2 times x is 2x. 2 times negative 3 is negative 6. If you have one with just a negative on the outside, then you only have to distribute that negative, which really means it's a negative 1 here and here. So negative 1 times 4x is negative 4x, and negative 1 times negative 3 is a positive 3. So that's what you do with distribute. Step 2 is to combine like terms. That means things that look alike and they have to be on the same side. For example, we have 4x minus 3x plus 6 equals 4x minus 2. Okay, on the left side, you have these two that you can combine because they both have an x. The 6 doesn't have an x, so it stays by itself. 4x minus 3x just gives you 1x. Bring down the plus 6. And on the right side, there's nothing that looks alike. This one has an x, this one doesn't have an x, so you just bring it down. And again, if there's nothing that you can combine, then don't combine anything at all. Step 3 is to move the smallest variable. And that only works if you have a variable on both sides. For example, if you have 3x equals negative 4x plus 2, you have an x on the left and you have an x on the right, and you can't have that. So you need to pick the smallest one, negative 4 is smaller than 3, and move it looking at that sign. That's a negative, so you would have to add 4x. If that sign was a positive, then you would subtract both sides by 4x. So we add so that this one cancels. And then right here, you just add them. That gives you 7x equals 2. And you would finish the problem off, but I'm not going to finish it because this is just an example of how to move the smallest variable. And the last step, step number 4, is what we've been doing this whole time, which is see and do. What do you see happening with the x? And what are you going to do? So that's the notes that we did yesterday, and it's just a refresher for in case anybody needed to see those again.